a democracy is only as representative as its electoral roll. And if the electoral roll is compromised, so is the compromise on the democracy. And this is exactly what we are worried for Manipur SIR. Because when we are talking about special intensive revision in regular areas, that's fine. But in a conflict-prone region like Manipur, where absenteeism, shift and more are seen regularly, this is where this administrative exercise turns into a huge debate to ensure not just the right of the voters but also the electoral dignity. Hello everyone, welcome to Vajram and Ravi's Flash News. My name is Shubhangi Singh, and in today's session we are going to understand in detail that what exactly is going wrong in Manipur special intensive revision of electoral rolls. So as of now, the worrisome part that has been highlighted by the data shows that there has been a record deletion by Election Commission of India in the draft electoral rolls which have been released. As of now, the number that we are seeing is 1.59 lakh, and this means that in a state like Manipur, this number can be having a huge impact not just in results but also how things are shaping up in this very state. Now, when we are looking at this number, let us look at certain other numbers in front of us. Now, when we are talking about the total electorate which was present before SIR, was 20.93 lakh. We are seeing deletion of 1.59 lakh. And if we are looking at deletion, then we also have to understand the composition based on the communities. For example, 19 scheduled tribe constituencies exist. In those, they contributed 37.8%. But in this 37.8%, deletion has been of 64.2%. Then we had 41 general or scheduled caste constituencies which constituted 62.2% of the electorate, but the deletion has been 35.8%. Now, as of now, you might be seeing that yes, these numbers are a little big in terms of proportion, but what exactly is the problem? So we will be discussing this exact problem in detail with key data. But before diving into details, let us start from scratch understanding what is SIR as well. So when we are talking about SIR, Special Intensive Revision, it is a comprehensive electoral roll verification exercise. So for example, if there are 10 names, we are checking if those names are right, if there is any deletion which is required, if there is any addition that is required, if there is any repetition that needs to be moved out, all that is done. Now, because this is not about 10 names, we are talking about lakhs of people. This is what makes it the Election Commission's most comprehensive verification exercise, and this is not something that is dependent on the whims of Election Commission of India. It has a proper constitutional basis in Article 324, which not only establishes Election Commission of India but gives it the power of direction, superintendence and also controlling the elections. Then it also has legal basis in the RPA 1950 and Registration of Electors Rule 1960 as well. So we have a clear basis of SIR that we are seeing. Now let us dive into a little more clearer understanding that how special intensive revisions take place. So when we are talking about SIR as an exercise, this is where you will be seeing that there will be updation and verification also taking place. Now, how this will be done? This will be done through collection of data. If there has been changes in voter name, new eligible voters which are present, updated addresses, if anyone had deceased and more. So, what does this ensure? It ensures that there is proper data entry, there is removal of duplicate entries and deletion of unregistered voters. This is where you also have to bring in the factor that how there is a problem of illegal immigrants in our country as well. So, this also helps in establishing a proper real electoral roll which actually ensure the electoral dignity which will be leading to formation of the representatives. And in our case, SIR is done publicly. As of now, the deletions have been made, but then there can be objections and claims, and re-verification will also take place. Now the question is, who does this? BLOs are responsible for conducting door-to-door verification. Given documents are required for SIR, and that is how the data will be compiled. Now, as of now, Manipur is not the first state which is seeing special intensive revision. This began last year in Bihar, and later multiple states have been subjected to special intensive revision by Election Commission of India. Can you tell me in the comment section, has your state seen special intensive revision of electoral rolls or not? Now, let us straight up move to understand that what we are looking at in Manipur. Now, when we are talking about Manipur, we have talked about the deletions, but the problem here is not number of deletions. The problem here is concentration in certain regions based on geography and also the conflict background of Manipur that exists. Because when we are talking about Manipur, since 2023, there have been continuous ethnic clashes. Now, these ethnic clashes are amidst the Kuki-Zo Naga on one side and Metis tribe on the other. This conflict has led to so much blood being flowed in Manipur that 60,000 people have been displaced and put in relief camps. There has been more than 260 lives that have been taken amidst this conflict. Now, this conflict began in May 2023. How did it start? When High Court talked about giving the scheduled tribe status to Metis tribe as well, which occupies the Imphal Valley. It is 10% of land, but it is heavily populated by Metis tribe. Kuki-Zo and Naga tribes are heavily populated towards in the hilly region, and this verdict by High Court, the suggestion by High Court was not taken well by Kuki-Zo and Naga tribes. So this is when this conflict started, and as I said, as of now what we are looking at is continuous burning of Manipur. And amidst this, as I talked about displacement as well, what we are seeing that hundreds, thousands of people have left their villages, they are divided and they have shifted to relief camps or outside the state. In such a scenario, when we want to verify the electoral rolls, how that verification will take place? This is difficult in terms of exercise, and this is where we see the compromise we are talking on, the electoral integrity as well. So what is the problem with the data that we are talking about? Let us understand the concerns, especially in Manipur SIR based on data. So the first problem here is that we know that displacement is not natural, it's not something that has happened organically. This is because of conflict. So multiple voters, they are unavailable during house verification, and if some families are available, they don't have identity documents because they have left that place because of violence, and I'm sure you understand that violence does not allow you time to save up your documents. So if you see in the given data here, you will be able to see across constituencies, the people who have shifted most are the most vulnerable one, that is scheduled tribes. There is a big chunk across community which is absent, and then death numbers are also present, but that could be of multiple reasons. So overall 46% they have shifted and 23% they are absent. This is where we see that the electoral rolls cannot be justly adjusted if these numbers are not understood. And how we talk about the representation of the state when the actual people when the real people are not present on the rolls itself. Apart from that, there is another bigger concern in front of us is the concentration of deletions. The highest deletion rates have occurred, if you see, in the conflict hit tribal constituencies. So this is where you get to see the highest deletions. It is more than 20% in this region, and then we also see that how it has impacted the whole of the state. Right here we have Psychot, which has seen 9% of all the deletions. So this means that a huge number of displaced people are not being regarded when we are looking at the deletions that have happened. And another bigger skew that we are seeing is because of the reasons that have been happening. For example, when we are looking at permanently shifted or absent, 76.1% deletions are coming from ST community. So constituencies here, they are seeing maximum deletions specifically in ST constituencies. Whereas when we are talking about general constituencies, the majority of deletions are because of death. So this is where we also get to see that which is the most affected constituency, not just of the violence, conflict that is happening, but also at the same time that how they will be lesser represented in terms of upcoming elections, because they are not part of the electoral rolls. And this is what is a prime example of exclusion of minorities, that we are seeing that the vulnerable groups are not getting to put their vote. And in this regard, we have to understand that the administrative exercise of SIR should have been done in a further defined, streamlined and taking in consideration the special conditions of Manipur. Because if this exercise, even after the objections claims have been settled, this is going to suffer because of the conflict prone region, and what we will see is that right to vote will suffer. Even though voting is a statutory right, we clearly get to see that when we are talking about free and fair elections, they are part of the basic structure of constitution, raising real questions. The principle of electoral equality, that will be compromised. Why? Electoral rolls should include every eligible voter. They should only exclude genuine ineligible voters, and there should not be any disproportionate exclusion. But at this point, we are seeing this happening, and this shows that we might be compromising on the principle of electoral equality as well. And to add to that, what we are seeing that when ECI is seeking to maintain accurate electoral rolls, they should have realized that conflict condition, they need additional safeguards, they need better changes. Otherwise, we are looking at disenfranchisement. We are looking at further eruption of violence. We are looking at increased mistrust, political polarization, and also possibility of litigation challenge. As of now, Supreme Court has not intervened in this particular SIR, Manipur SIR, and Supreme Court, when Bihar SIR happened, they did not stay the whole cycle, but it clearly recognized and emphasized that eligible voters cannot be excluded just because of procedural difficulties. The documentation, verification, the acceptance, that has to be facilitated by ECI. There is still a possibility for claims to come in, for the filings to take place, but at the same time, the numbers show that additional safeguards were much required. So at this point, I would like to leave you here with way forward. I would also like to know from your end, what do you think can be the way forward in this situation to ensure that the public mistrust does not grow while ensuring an administrative exercise? Let me know in the comment section. I'll be leaving you here with a prelims practice question. Let me know the answer to this in the comment section. I'll be waiting for your answers. That was all from my side. Thank you so much.